comedian, so I like the late night show because I can be more dark. The news is crazy. It's depressing. I will overthink it, but it's a great way to deal with what's going on. And I think creativity and laughter is the greatest form of resistance. So that's
creativity and laughter is the greatest form of resistance. I love that. I think I agree.
In terms of like politically, you mean?
Politically and not on the macro scale, but then like individually, like the people who come to the show, I always ask them like, oh, are we reading the news? And they usually like, and they cry. And being able to talk about it and laugh about it together is like healing in of itself and kind of unites people towards a common cause. So
Pause.
You know, I agree with you on that. I also have to follow up on that. Do you feel like though that it becomes like an echo chamber where people are creating content for they're like preaching to the choir over and over again? Because this is what I'm kind of like seeing a lot. And I know, Sheri, you probably agree with me. I don't want to speak for you, so chime in. But there's a lot of people, you know, like say you're like hardcore liberal, right? And then you're like pushing that narrative. Like say you're doing a bunch of comedy right now for Zoran in New York City, you know, to like push towards him getting elected or whatever. And then everyone in comedy is doing that. So I don't get what the joke is. You know what I mean? Like I don't get like how that's like, and it when it becomes biting and weird towards like, and I'm not saying you do this. I'm just talking about comedy in general.
It's corny.
I think I don't get how that's interesting, I guess. You know, like it's weird to me that Jimmy Kimmel's like so preachy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I think it's like almost like, it's like they are feeding into their own agenda, but they don't really know what their agenda is, but everyone else is doing it. So they feel like they have to do it because everyone else is doing it. But also at the same time, they feel like, oh, I'm not doing it because everyone else is doing it. I'm doing it because it's the right thing. Yeah. Bullshit. You're doing it. Last week, you were fucking for Israel.
Yeah.
And then now you're for Palestine. And now you're for... shut up,
Yeah,
bro.
like personally, I've only ever voted Democrat in my life. Personally, I've only ever voted Democrat. I'm willing to say that 100%. On a podcast where we probably have just as many people
and I didn't vote
the other way.
I didn't vote this time, to be honest. So.
But I say that and I'm like, but I don't really get like like how there's comedy that... like it's just playing to the same joke over and over again. You know what I mean? I don't get the joke necessarily, I suppose. But
yeah, it is old. It does get old fast. Like I got like mixed responses from some of my comedian friends when Trump was running right before the election. And they were like, oh man, part of me secretly wishes he wins because it's so much easier to write material like about him. But
it's selfish.
It's this one note. A lot of the time.
Yeah. Comedy, like political comedy, was probably at its best when George Bush was in office.
I was going to say Bush and Clinton, Monica Lewinsky and Bush.
Yeah, like that late 90s, early 2000s, like Daily Show in its heyday, you know?
I think it's like most presidents, in my opinion, even the left ones are just actually centrist. But this isn't a political podcast.
No, but we could talk about it for a few minutes.
It can be.
Minutes,
I think, at least for me, when I make more political jokes, if I have like a late night thing, I'll have like 1/4 of them are silly. Yeah. Like puns, food, whatever, pop culture. And then I'll have like 1/4 is like liberal. And then a lot of them, the middle is kind of just trying to make people think a little bit. Like not like saying this is a truth. And
critical thinking.
And the result of this truth is this. How do we feel? We don't like the results. No one likes that result, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing is like that used to be such a actual way to approach like comedy. Like you actually could do something with that, and I just don't know if it's changed so far the other direction at this point that it's like. Sure, it's possible, but 9 out of 10 times it's not, you know?
No. Yeah.
And I'm not saying you personally. I'm just talking about comedy as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I know you are very joke-centric, and I would say more than 1/4 of your jokes are silly. And I'm saying that as someone who sat and watched your clips. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't even think you're giving yourself enough credit. On how like light most of it is. And I use that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Because I think a lot of people get a little too self-important and, you know, they're trying to like deliver this cause and I don't know. I didn't get into comedy to run for office personally. You know what I mean?
I don't know why I got it. Well, actually, I can tell you how I got into comedy.
You both look like you could be in office, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I could run like the HOA on a trailer park or something like that.
No, you clean up well.
Yeah. I'll get some Invisalign, then then it's over for you.
Invisalign.
I could. I feel like though I like
your teeth.
I'm not good at towing the line when I see other people being hurt. That's when I kind of like lose it, and I'll go to war. You know, so I don't know. I don't know if I couldn't do it. I'd be good at it. I'd probably be good at helping someone else with it.
Yeah.
Also, I've like smoked too much weed. I've like done psychedelics that would all bite me.
You are good at helping.
Yeah.
I would strategize for them, and then that way I can do all the drugs I want behind the scenes. Yeah.
It's interesting that you're interested in like current events and like politics as a subject when you do have that understanding. And I don't know you to be like too centered on one idea or the other, you know, like, so I just was curious if you had any insight as to other people's approach. That's all. But
that's a good, I think a friend of mine once said, and a friend of him told him this was at least the way I like to tell jokes is like I'm sneaking spinach into the smoothie.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't even taste the spinach, but it's there, and it's giving you nutritional value. It's moving your bowels.
Yeah, like most of the audiences in Chicago are like, I would say tend to lean towards liberal, but I've done some shows in Indiana,
like right outside
in
of
the
Chicago,
South, and
just
like
the suburbs in general,
and even like lampooning a Confederate monument joke in Tennessee. That one did great in Tennessee, did not do well in Chicago,
and it won't do well here in New York.
But like. Yeah, I don't know how it's absurdist. It's like acknowledging the absurdity of it brings everyone together.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But can we also talk about how like Trump's Twitter feed and like Tucker Carlson or JD Vance, like I feel like I am in an SNL sketch.
Yes.
Like they are.
Oh, it's been like that since Trump started running.
Exactly. I feel like we're already like, can we make it funnier? Like the joke is
than what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I couldn't write better things.
What the fuck is happening
Dude,
right
he's
now?
so fucking funny, bro.
Trump is so funny, and it's fucked up to say that, you know. And like I know, like like bigger comedians, they'll admit that and say that too. But it's like. But he's so psychotic and he's insane and he's not a good person and he's not a good president. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, can you make a joke better than him? No, maybe not.
Probably not, yeah. But even Obama had that about him. That he
Obama was hilarious too.
In a very different way, obviously. You know, like Trump's like the unhinged comic and Obama's like the Seinfeld that goes in and, it
Did you hear?
It,
That's why supposedly there's this running joke that is why Trump ran for office, because I think it was a speech at I forget, presidential whatever, and Obama was roasting Trump, and Trump roasted back, and then Obama was like, one thing that you will never have is you'll never be the president of the United States. And then there's a whole thing about it, and then Trump ended up running. So I think Obama lit his ass up a little bit.
I always thought it was like him and the Koch brothers. Koch brothers? The Koch brothers?
Ed Koch, he was the mayor.
Him and the Koch brothers made a bet one night, and then he lost. And it's like, loser has to run for president.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, because I think in the first election round, you could kind of see this sense of panic slowly creeping on his face. Like, oh, fuck. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he knew. Like, he seemed surprised that he was winning as it was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, my dad loved Donald Trump. Before
so did all the rappers. Like if you listen to 90s rap and early 2000s rap, but Donald Trump, Trump this, Trump that, everyone loved him.
Well, it was bling bling era. You know, it was like he represented American abundance, and I think that's what he sold to the people as well.
Yes.
And I just got back from DC like 2 hours ago, right?
Yeah.
And that was my first time being in DC since I was like 16. My first time as an adult. It's a fucking third world country there.
Is it really?
You're either in a suit or you're in a tent outside. You're an urban camper.
There's not much. No in between.
There's really not that much in between. The in between was the comedy shows I'd go to, and there were like fucking 20 comics like just fucking trying to act smart into a fucking microphone.
Right.
And I mean, look, there's good comedians there. I'm not saying that all the comedians are bad there, but the overall vibe was depressed, political, like just like.
I mean, I can't imagine right now.
It was not good vibes at all.
They're all getting, like, if any of them are, like, remotely liberal, they're all, excuse me, I'm burping.
Well, that's the Michelob Ultra sponsor us, Michelob. Fuck Bud Light. Trans.
No, they're shaming.
No, I love trans people. I'm just kidding.
But, like, they're all under, like, such siege. If you have, like, any sense of morals right now, you're getting... like
shitted on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. I
mean, it's happening with I have some friends who are veterans, and they're the doctors at the VA and the therapists are getting like letters. Like, you know, back in the old times, they dropped propaganda from planes to be like, you're losing this war, quit now. They're doing that with the VA. They're like, we'll pay you money. Like, this is a bad job. Go private. They're trying to get everyone to leave.
In the private sector.
And they're like forcing, so any, you know, and they're all standing strong. Like, shout out to the employees at the VA. Like, most of them are not taking any of that.
Shout out to VFW.
Yeah.
Shout out to VA.
But oh my God. Yeah. Cause they recently passed this bill like this week that for veterans, doctors are now allowed to deny care at the VA if a veteran is not married.
What?
Yeah. And what was it? Not married. And there's another.
That's
part
not
of it,
real.
Which I'm just like, okay,
is that
I understand.
real?
I don't know. We're going to clip it. The internet will tell us.
Yeah.
That's not real. That can't
Sound
be
off
real.
in the comments. Is that fake news or not? Incoming bots.
What if there are two gay guys and they're married? Or two lesbians or two trans or two they-thems and they're married or vice versa, whatever. It's okay, but then this makes no sense. If a straight guy's not married.
I don't even think it was like a straight or gay thing, right? You're just saying like if you
No, I'm just saying in general.
I think, well, this is what I want to understand. Number one, I get it with the women thing because you're trying to force us to have babies. Like,
to control their bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but especially, like,
you understand the psychology of it from a fucked up place.
But the men, why do you want the men married? Like, why do you want that? That's, I don't know. And
probably because if they die, someone's gonna fucking take them to task.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Too. Yeah. They want a traditional.
I don't know. I know nothing about this subject, to be honest with you.
Me neither.
But yeah.
Anyway,
meanies.
But do you think you've become
Also,
more active because you have a vet boyfriend?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, this guy put his life on the line and like served his country, and now him and his brothers are being shat on by the United States government.
Disgusting.
I also think
fucked,
I think it's because veterans are the middle of the aisle topic